stories. So tonight we've got Will Mooney, who's the Executive Officer for the Murray Lower Darling Rivers Indigenous Nations, Mildred, which is a representative confederation of traditional owners in the southern Murray-Darling Basin, and it was established in 1998. Will grew up in Tasmania and has also worked as a community campaigner in the NGO sector and as an historical researcher and tutor. Will considers it an enormous privilege to work alongside elders and traditional owners to advocate for Aboriginal water rights in the basin. And I might just quickly add that I first met Will on the side of the road waiting to go into Murra in southwest Queensland about 3 or 4 years ago. We'll talk about that later, I think. So I'll throw over to Will.
Thank you very much, Kieran. I'm going to be honest, I'm a bit nervous tonight. I wasn't expecting such a big turnout, but it's fantastic. I have a glass of wine to help me through. But I also have some water because we're here to talk about water. I'd like to start by saying thank you to Aunty Georgina for the very warm welcome, and to acknowledge that we are meeting today on the lands of the Wurundjeri people. And I pay my respect to elders past and present, and acknowledge that sovereignty over the lands and waters of this country and all the country over this continent was never ceded. I need to make a bit of a disclaimer first. I'm not an Aboriginal person, I'm not a traditional owner. I do have the great privilege of working alongside Mildred's membership and other Aboriginal people, particularly in the southern part of the Murray-Darling Basin, to advocate for Aboriginal water rights. I think it's really important to acknowledge the elders and the Aboriginal leaders we have in the room today. So thank you, Aunty Georgina and Aunty Alice. I also acknowledge Fred Hooper, who's the chairperson of the Northern Basin Aboriginal Nations, and in his absence, Damien Bell, who'll be with us shortly, I believe. Okay. Thank you very much to the River Basin Management Society for inviting me. I did indeed meet Kieran on the side of the road in far western Queensland. I was warned about the pigs by the bus driver who dropped me off, but luckily they came and saved me, so I was alright. It's great to see some familiar faces here and lots of unfamiliar ones as well. So I'm going to talk about two key things today. I'm going to give you a bit of an overview of the Murray Lower Darling Rivers Indigenous Nations, Mildred, and what we do. And I'm going to talk specifically about the Aboriginal Waterways Assessment, which is a particular tool or methodology which is being developed and used now applied particularly in Victoria as a way to start to document and compare Aboriginal cultural values of waterways. And then I'll speak briefly about the evolving toolkit of different approaches that are available to start to undertake this work, which hopefully will feed into Alana's talk as well. So I thought the best way to talk about Mildred would be through pictures. So Mildred was established in 1998, so next year will be 20 years old, which is quite phenomenal when you consider all the work that's happened in that 20 years. And I guess the fact that there's so many of you in the room here today is testament to the 2 decades at least of work that's been going on to sort of develop momentum around this discussion of Aboriginal water rights. So Mildred, I guess one of our key activities is representation and advocacy. We work to confederate the nations of the southern part of the Murray-Darling Basin and to provide a united voice. And we hope that that united voice can have influence at a local, state, federal and even international level as well. So here's some examples. On the bottom picture, the bottom picture there is the joint gathering of NBAN, the Northern Basin Aboriginal Nations, and Mildred, which was held in Canberra last year. I think it was 44 nations in total represented there, with a range of delegates right from Queensland right through to South Australia. One of the outcomes of that meeting was a joint statement that we put out, which got some attention in national media, and we're able to sort of keep the conversation going and push the agenda, I guess, at the national level with that. We've also had delegates attending, travelling overseas recently to Mexico, to Colorado, to learn from First Nations overseas and to sort of, I guess, connect with those groups as well. In Victoria, we're seeing some really momentous work happening and changes happening in the last year with the announcement of an Aboriginal water unit that will be established. There will be an Aboriginal Commissioner on the Victorian Environmental Water Holder. We're also hoping at the moment that we can get an Aboriginal board member on the board of the Murray-Darling Basin Authority, because there's some vacancies there. So if you know anyone, suggest that they apply. Pretty easy, I think. Just turn up to a few meetings. Another key activity we focus on is capacity building. So we've been working with our delegates and with other traditional owners, particularly in the basin, to, I guess, build Aboriginal people's skills to participate on an equal footing in water management decision making. On the bottom right-hand corner there, some of our delegates who, after we did a GIS workshop, so they were using ArcGIS to produce maps of the country. We have a range of different forums where we try and bring government in as well to support Aboriginal people to be able to participate in decision-making forums. For example, environmental water advisory groups, stakeholder advisory panels, all that sort of thing. I'm sure this audience is more aware than most people of the sort of technical and complex nature of water management discourse. So we try and provide an avenue for Aboriginal people to get a foot in the door and have an input into those sorts of decisions. Finally, water management. Another key focus of our work is to ensure that traditional owners have a direct voice, have a direct input in decisions about water management on their country. We recently undertook some workshops with traditional owners in Barkindji country and in Yorta Yorta country, Tungarung country, to discuss proposed changes to sustainable diversion limits for groundwater resources. So as part of the recent Basin Plan amendments, there's been a proposal to increase extraction limits for two groundwater resource areas. So we convened workshops, we had MDBA staff in attendance outlining the changes, and we were able to get feedback from traditional owners, put that into submissions, and also ensure that they're informed of the changes. So that's another sort of key activity that we undertake. And the Aboriginal Waterway Assessment Tool, which I'll move on to now, I guess has been a key mechanism for us to be able to provide a really clear or a really defined way for Aboriginal people to participate in these sorts of decisions. So what is the Aboriginal Waterway Assessment Tool? Essentially, it's a tool to assess the cultural health of waterways and river country. It is focused on identifying, documenting, reporting, and also providing comparison of the cultural values of different sites along a given waterway or wetland or connected waterways on a traditional owner's country. It is, I guess, some of the kind of key facets or key characteristics of the tool. It is traditional owner-led. Traditional owners undertake the research, design the projects, nominate the sites to be visited. They are also involved in compiling the data, and all the data and reports that arise out of a project are handed back to the traditional owners for them to be able to use and to advocate for the outcomes that they want to see in our country. The AWA is designed to deliver consistent, comparable results across different areas of country at different times. So I guess it fulfills that sort of requirement for a Western scientific style of assessing cultural values on country. It is based on a partnership approach. In all the projects that we've run, traditional owners work in close partnership with Aboriginal organisations like Mildred, with catchment management authorities, with government departments as well. And we find that this builds ongoing relationships that can be really beneficial. It's really kind of the core of how we move this work along, is to have those positive relationships between water managers, public servants and traditional owners as well. So these relationships support ongoing engagement. The AWA is also inclusive. It values and includes different forms of knowledge. You don't need to have specific technical or scientific expertise to be involved in an Aboriginal waterway assessment project. It allows for knowledge transfer, for learning and reconnection to country. So it really, I guess it also really values traditional owners' knowledge about their country. And it sees that as a valid input to water planning. Even without all the sort of scientific technical knowledge, that is often quite a barrier to that sort of participation. So, to go back to sort of the first principles here, the AWA tool has really been driven by this sort of overarching question that I'm sure many of you have pondered as well in your work. How can water planning fulfil cultural objectives and achieve shared benefits? I know that a number of you are involved in different projects that are sort of aimed at looking at this at the moment. So I think it's important to understand that there is a demand from government to understand how this works and to sort of find this information. And traditional owners have to engage in that, in a way that is culturally safe as well. So we find that the AWA is a tool that gives them the ownership in how that works. Okay, so I'm going to try and give you a brief summary of how the mechanics of the tool work. Unfortunately, I can't go step by step through the process because we'd be here all night, but I'll try and give you a brief summary. So the Aboriginal Waterway Assessment was originally adopted from another tool called the Maori Cultural Health Index, which has been used by Maori people in Aotearoa, New Zealand. Maori developed the Cultural Health Index as a way to predominantly focusing on water quality and being able to measure their ability to use their streams and waterways for cultural purposes. In 2013, a delegation of traditional owners from the north and south of the Murray-Darling Basin, along with Murray-Darling Basin Authority staff, travelled to New Zealand to look at the tool. They had a study trip, brought the tool back, and everyone, I think it's fair to say that everyone considered that it was a culturally safe and a valuable tool to start looking at to adapt to conditions in Australia. So a bunch of work went into that. The tool was tweaked and sort of adapted. And in 2015, 3 pilots of the tool were rolled out, 2 in the Southern Basin and 1 in the Northern Basin. And I guess that the sort of overwhelming feedback was that it was a really positive tool to work with. So the core work involved in running an AWA project is traditional owners on country visiting a range of sites along the waterway or in a connected series of wetlands, streams, waterways, to input information about the cultural health and the environmental condition of different sites on country. So there's 2 kind of key components. One is a quantitative component, which is where traditional owners assign a score, if you like, based on a range of different categories of cultural values and use for each site, and a score based on a range of different questions around the environmental condition of each site as well. There's also, we also collect information, the qualitative information, so observations, comments, and stories that people discuss on site or write down on their worksheet. So for each site we visit, each individual traditional owner fills out one worksheet. At the end of the day, or at the end of the project, these are all collected and the scores are collated, and then we put together the results. So this diagram gives you a bit of an outline of the process. So the first step is scoping and planning. So Mildred, as the facilitator of these projects, and I should just probably make it clear that at the moment we're running 6 of these Aboriginal waterway assessment projects in the Victorian part of the basin. We hope there'll be further funding in Victoria and in other states as well. At the moment, that's what we're focused on, is running these 6 projects. So the first step is scoping and planning. We go out, we meet with traditional owners and also with Catchment Management Authority staff and water planners who can provide support to the project. We talk about the tool, we try it out, we go out on site and have a little test run, identify the sites that the group wants to visit, and assemble an assessment team, which is usually made up of about 10 traditional owners, plus some other experts as well if you want to bring them in. So that whole scope, the scoping and planning process is actually very important because it does influence the outcomes. The field, so that planning process informs the field work where we have a team of about 10 traditional owners with facilitators and other experts that they may want to bring along, such as an ecologist or an archaeologist who can help sort of provide additional input or just to bounce things off to respond to the different questions in the worksheet. The fieldwork generates the reports and data, and these are held by the nations. Mildred doesn't even keep a copy. We hand all the reports back to the traditional owners. We hand the raw data back to them, the worksheets, the lot, and then essentially we make ourselves available to come back in the future once they've had a chance to I guess digest that, to sort of facilitate some community deliberations about how they might want to use that information.
Sorry, Will.
That's all right. And finally, I guess the final key step in the process is how that information, that data, the qualitative and quantitative results, can become an input into water planning. Now, this is I guess the key step that we haven't. This is a bridge we haven't quite crossed yet, or we're still in the process of crossing. At the moment, we have completed 2 Aboriginal waterway assessments. We're in the process of getting the reports back, But I think that the sort of the test is really going to be in the next 6 months or so, as particularly in the development of water resource plans under the Basin plan, how traditional owners and water managers engage about how that information can be used as an input into water planning. Okay, this slide just gives you a quick snapshot of a generic example of some of the results, just really focusing on the quantitative results. So you can see on the top there a generic results table. It lists the different sites that were visited and shows there the different scores for the cultural uses and river health that are generated by averaging out the different scores that traditional owners put down on their worksheets. What we also do is plot the scores for each different site on a matrix based on the two axes, so cultural values and uses on the bottom, and on the left, the river health. And what that does is provide a visual comparison for the traditional owners and other partners that they may want to engage with, a visual comparison of the health of different sites. So for example, if you look at right in the top right-hand corner of that matrix in the green squares, that's a site that has been rated very highly for its cultural values and uses. It's also been rated very highly for its river health. So it might be a site that's in pretty good nick. It might not be where you want to prioritise your NRM responses or your water management responses. Whereas if you look at the bottom, right in the middle there, in the yellow area, you can see there's a site there that's been plotted that has quite a high cultural values and use score, but a very low river health score. So you might be looking at that site and saying, why is that site so degraded? How can we improve its environmental conditions to support the ongoing cultural values and uses? We also plot those sites on the map so that you can see where they lay across the land. So just briefly.
Sorry, repeat. Should take questions during talk. Or
I'm happy to if you have a burning question. Yeah.
well, it's not a burning question, but like we used to think that kind of. You said you haven't crossed that test yet about how this data will be used. Are you sort of speculating that you might provide it to the Victorian Environmental Water Holder, or how do you see it working?
So Carmen just asked, how would we use that information in engaging with water planners such as the View or state governments? We won't do that at this stage. So Mildred's made that undertaking because all the information in these reports is the intellectual property or the cultural knowledge of traditional owners. So we don't do that. But what we'll do is work with the traditional owner group to facilitate, to sort of help them, I guess, make decisions about how they want to use that information. So there's a whole range of different ways that it could be used. For example, in CMA's developing seasonal watering proposals, the reports do identify objectives for different sites. So that could become quite a useful input for those kinds of planning processes. Another example we were discussing just yesterday with Baringi Gagin Land Council and the Wimmera CMA. The Wimmera CMA, as part of their cultural water project, is developing this really cool interactive map, which has stories. It's a map with points that link to stories and information. It's all interactive about Wotjobaluk country. You could also include the results and scores arising from the AWA onto a tool like that as well. So there's a whole lot of different applications. But yeah, we haven't quite landed that yet, I guess. Okay, so this is a map that shows where the AWA has been utilised to date so far. So I guess sort of a pertinent point there is that it's been used right across a range of different kind of landscapes. So right up in the north on the Barwon with the Milleray people, right through to Gunditjmara and Wotjobaluk people in southwest Victoria. So we think that it is applicable to a range of different locations with different environmental conditions and different traditional owner groups. Yeah, so Baringi Gagin Land Council will be running an Aboriginal waterway assessment project this month, we hope. So yeah, we'll be, and there's they have now a traditional owner working in CMA who's going to help lead that.
Excuse me. If you go back to the map, can
Sure.
I please just ask about the rest of Victoria?
Yep.
I mean, is it a deliberate decision of yours to operate within the Murray-Darling Basin, or how are you extending your program to the rest of the state?
Yeah, good question. So our organisation, the Murray Lower Darling Rivers Indigenous Nations, is focused in the basin, in the southern part of the basin. So we don't, I guess we don't have delegates or representatives from outside of the basin. The project that was run on the Glenelg River with Gunditjmara and Wotjobaluk people was was specifically funded under a specific project that the Glenelg Hopkins CMA is running. So we were very lucky to be invited along to work in that. But I guess, look, if other groups outside of the basin have an aspiration to use this tool, I think absolutely that should happen. And my feeling is that the Victorian government is very open to exploring those kinds of opportunities at this stage. So it can certainly happen, I think.
Thank you.
About
Okay.
5 minutes, Phil.
Yep, no worries. I'm getting close to the end. Okay, so what have we learned from this and where do we want to go from here? I guess some of the key learnings from the application of the tool so far is that the AWA generates diverse outcomes. So you've got the reports, you've got the data, quantitative, qualitative, all this information, and there really is a wealth of information that comes out of one of these projects. But we've learned that there's a whole other range of outcomes which are about establishing relationships, reconnecting people to country, this knowledge transfer between Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal people, between elders and young people, and all that kind of thing. So that's another really fantastic, I guess, there's all these spin-off co-benefits that arise from running one of these tools. It is the start of the process. The AWA is not the be-all and end-all. Running one of these projects on country doesn't answer all the questions that we need to answer in terms of how do you, I guess, give effect to traditional owners' objectives around water management. The tool needs to be supplemented by community deliberations about the outcomes and technical support, for example, with hydrological modelling to help define flow requirements. And I guess this is sort of really where we're on the frontier of developing this knowledge and these approaches now. How do you translate Aboriginal people's objectives into actual hydrological modelling and flow requirements? Partnerships are crucial. When a project is run with really good support from catchment management authorities and other partners, it's a better project. So we found that that's another really important kind of learning from the process. And one size doesn't fit all. I guess one of the benefits of the tool is it is adaptable. You can add different categories of cultural use if the list that we've sort of assembled so far doesn't identify all the values of country. It is adaptable, which is really positive. You can go back and use it again. Yeah. So where do we go from here? So as I mentioned before, Mildred was lucky enough to receive some funding from the Victorian government to run 6 AWA projects in Victoria. We'd like to do more. We hope that it will be picked up in New South Wales as well. In South Australia, traditional owners have run 1 project so far, and there's another one in the pipeline. In New South Wales, there was 1 run as a pilot, but we haven't had any further uptake from them at this stage. So we'd like to see if it can be picked up in other states as well. And finally, that question, which I did sort of touch on before, about how do we translate the results of a report into really meaningful inputs into water planning. So this is I guess this is work that's ongoing at the moment as Victoria in particular starts to get down to work on developing water resource plans. I just came back from Horsham today where we were meeting with Reggie Gadging Land Council traditional owners who are the Wimmera Mallee is the first water resource plan area, the first cab off the rank, and there's a whole lot of teething, there's a whole lot of sort of things that need to be worked out to make sure that process runs smoothly, I suppose. So we're still very much working that all out. Just finally, what I've been talking about today is really about how we allow for meaningful inputs to the way that environmental water is managed to achieve what we refer to as Aboriginal environmental outcomes. Kieran mentioned before that the name changer of this event, which I guess is pertinent from cultural flows to Aboriginal water. Mildred and Nban developed a definition for the concept of cultural flows back in 2007, which is contained in the Echuca Declaration. If you want to go and look that up and do some research when you get home, the Echuca Declaration 2007 defines cultural flows, which has, I guess, become quite an important intervention in the whole discourse of water management. But we also need to be careful when we use that term that we don't sort of throw it around too loosely. What we're talking about fundamentally with the AWA is how we influence decisions about how environmental water, which is water held by the government, is used. But Aboriginal people also have aspirations to own their own water entitlements that could be used for anything essentially, for economic development opportunities as well. So yeah, we just need to be sure that we we know which kind of concept we're talking about when we discuss this stuff. I think this is the last slide. Okay. Finally, we look at the AWA as one component in an evolving toolkit of methodologies and tools to I guess address that question that I highlighted early on. How do we provide mechanisms for Aboriginal values to be inputted into water planning? There's a range of other tools that are being developed now or already being used. The Nurundjeri people on Coorong have a Yarnarumi Index, which is a tool that's specifically designed to assist in risk assessment. And they're looking for opportunities now to sort of formalise that too. And that's a very culturally specific tool that actually uses Nurundjeri language to identify risk to waterways. There's also use and occupancy mapping, which has been used in a number of sites across the Murray-Darling Basin, which is actually a Canadian method, or a methodology that comes out of Canada. I think, Fred, you guys have used that extensively up in the north. The New South Wales Aboriginal Water Initiative, which is a government agency, has an asset collection methodology. Basically, they have these report cards where they collect information about sites. That's another way to input the information, and that goes directly. They are water planners, so that information, ostensibly goes directly into the water planning process. Finally, we have this groundbreaking project, the National Cultural Flows Research Project, which Alana will tell us all about in a moment. But we're going to see some further methodologies and probably some more refined approaches that are going to be coming out of that in the next year or so, I suppose. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you very much.